book that I wrote last year, and I bought a chili bin at Esky just to keep us going.
You said it was empty, there's nothing in it.
Thanks for coming tonight, and thanks to Matt and Alicia for hosting us. Good to see you. Well, I'm not mad. It feels like sometimes we're going mad, doesn't it? Like every time I kind of check back in and think they don't give mad people airline transport pilot licenses. They don't make mad people licensed aircraft engineers. They don't give them heavy truck licenses or gun licenses, etc., etc. So I don't think I'm completely mad, but it does sometimes feel what we're doing is a bit crazy. So the reason I brought this on, just to come on a little journey with me. So imagine we're living on a spaceship, and there's like 40 of us are the occupants of that spaceship, okay? That's it, that's the total population. And it's a very abundant spaceship. It's got everything we need in it. But one way or another, sorry Max, you're just there.
Hey.
All the good stuff is in the bin, right? And somehow Max has taken control of it. And sorry, this is so unfair, but he hasn't necessarily got our best interests at
I'll have a
heart.
look.
So, well, don't, it's not exciting. It's just,
I'll still have a look.
Stay with me in the spaceship. For some reason, Max has total control over the contents of the things that we need aboard this spaceship to live well. How long do we let him do that as we perish as a community on board that spaceship? How far do we have to go down deprivation, hunger, poverty, ill health, societal breakdown before we say, sorry, who does the jobs on the spaceship? Because there are nurses and builders and entertainers and managers and fishermen and engineers and farmers. Don't we just say, Max, I don't know, mate, we're not going to come to you with our votes or our bank accounts.
Hey, steady on.
We're just going to do it amongst ourselves, aren't we? Because we do the things that we need. The person who ultimately is psychopathic, so we're talking Elon Musk, etc. types. There's one or two in Wellington as well. Why do we let them control us? How do those puppet strings work that enable us? I mean, we won't get better people for governing our society than these ones. They're amazing. But they can't do it. They cannot control the things that we need because they've lost control completely. So now, all evening we've listened to great people make nonsensical excuses for why we can't feed our children properly, why we can't take care of our environment, when all around us we have fantastic abundance of building materials, of food, of knowledge, of passion, of compassion. It's all there, isn't it? Everything you could ever need. One young person can milk 1,000 cows. One person can look after 1,000 head of livestock. One person can operate a huge digger or a milling machine or a mill and produce 4x2 by the mile, and none of us could even get our hands on it. We can't even house people. It no longer makes sense. I'm proposing what's called a resource-based economy, and I've done it for nearly 20 years. And the longer I do it, the more sense it makes and the worse it gets outside. We are living in paradise, and there's one thing that stops us enjoying that paradise, and it's worse than that. We're destroying our very spaceship, the people and the contents of it, just because we don't have access to the tokens. We're not going to need incentives about money or days off on our birthdays or higher salaries or bigger TVs or competition to do the right thing, because every one of us, and I can say 5 million people in this country, are compassionate, kind, empathetic, caring, loving, beautiful, generous creatures. There's hardly any psychopaths in the world at all. We all want to do the right thing. So we're proposing, obviously as mayor or as a councillor, there's going to be a bit of work to do. In the short term, borrow as much money as we need to do all the things that are really important for people and for our environment. It's easy to do that. We will never have to pay the debt back because it doesn't exist. And sorry Max, he insists, well, we'll manufacture some notes and we'll take them around in a wheelbarrow and deliver them at his door because it's completely made up. And how far, as I said at the beginning, how far are we going to go to the West Coast, where I'm also standing and explain to a family that's just lost a son to suicide, or someone that's just lost a business, or their family is broken down. I mean, all those towns on the West Coast, they're a bit ahead of Brightwater and Richmond, but they're all collapsing. societally, economically, you know, the depths aboard this spaceship.
Just finish up.
They're coming for us, and this is next. There's a way out of this, so have a look at it. It's called a resource-based economy, a future beyond money. We could be living in utopia as soon as you are ready, because you do the things that we need. And I'll leave it there. Thanks.
Thank you.